On Prime Minister's questions, Ed Miliband was building on his success from last week at the beginning, on the fact that he has forced the Prime Minister to move. Let's see what the PM said about Rebekah Brooks today.
I've made very clear she was right to resign. That resignation should have been accepted.
And let's see what he said last week.
In terms of News International, everyone at News International has got to ask themselves some pretty searching questions.
Ed Miliband knew that that was a change of tack, and he subtly underlined it once he got back to his feet today.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Prime Minister for that answer, and he's right to take the position that Rebekah Brooks should go.
Basically, he's saying, I was right, now he's right as well alongside me. One other thing that Ed Miliband said in his successful PMQs last week, which is informative.
Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid that answer was out of touch with millions of people out and down this country.
And again, this week, he echoed that, and to demonstrate how far things have moved.
I want to thank the Prime Minister for those answers, and they're answers the whole country will have wanted to hear.
So I think Ed Miliband obviously subtly underlining the point that the Prime Minister has basically come into line with where he was last week. But I tell you, the rest of PMQs wasn't subtle, was it? It was a bit of a pantomime. Let's watch the opposition leader at one point reacting with shock, horror, indignation, the whole lot to what David Cameron was saying at one point. And then at the end, the whole thing completely descended into utter chaos that the Speaker was completely unable to control. Just watch this.
Order!
Sort of gave up at that point because it obviously wasn't working. They eventually quietened down. Now, why was this happening? It was because they were talking about Andy Coulson. Ed Miliband raised allegations that he said should have been brought to the attention of the Prime Minister that were raised by the Guardian editor Alan Rusbridger. They weren't, but the line from the Prime Minister was that, look, these things were out in the open. They were published in the Guardian anyway. Were they really so very important? But I did think that his language on Andy Coulson was so strikingly different, given that he was very loyal to him at the press conference only on Friday, and he is, you know, he said he is still a friend. Listen to this answer that he gave about the possibility he was lied to. The cheers at the end, I can't quite make it out, but I think this is actually the Labour side cheering David Cameron.
If I was lied to, if the police were lied to, if the Select Committee was lied to, it would be a matter of deep regret and a matter for a criminal prosecution.
So why would the opposition be cheering the Prime Minister? They'd be cheering because they know how profoundly uncomfortable this is for him, because the link with Andy Coulson brings it straight back to the door of the Prime Minister. And you could actually see, I thought, on the pained expressions of David Cameron and, of course, of George Osborne, on whose advice Andy Coulson was originally hired, just how hard it is for them.